Have you been searching for a coven or a witchy group where you can grow and learn things and experiment together and just where you feel like you belong? I'd like to suggest a different approach. Instead of looking for a group, instead of looking for a lot of different people, or even if it's a group of 10, this applies. Um, Instead of doing that, look for one witchy friend. One. Somebody that you vibe with, and you don't have to be necessarily on the same path, have the same gifts, have the same ideas. You kind of want somebody that's different from you too, because you want different perspectives, because that really helps when you're experimenting together and when you're looking at personal growth, spiritual growth, magical growth. But the difference between a group and one person is a group, you get different voices, a lot of different voices. And the bigger the group, the more surface level that becomes, because everybody's trying to find a way to cohesively harmonize and exist in that space. And that's great. I'm not discounting groups at all by any means. But if you have been searching for one and you can't find it, maybe instead just focus on that one witchy friend. And this is why. So I was one of those people. I was searching for that. I was, joined groups. I, talked with a lot of different people. I tried local, online, just trying to find somewhere where I fit. And it wasn't that they didn't fit. It was fine, but it was so surface level for me. It's not where I was. It's not where I wanted to be. And then I tried forging friendships and stuff with other people, that kind of bond relationship, in order to, do this kind of work. And the problem with that is every time it seemed to be going more into a mentor form where I was a mentor to them. And that's fine. I do mentorship. It's part of, my devotion to the Morrigan. It's part of my work as her seneschal. But that wasn't exactly what I was looking for. I didn't want to find another person to mentor. I was looking for somebody to grow with. And so almost a year ago, getting close to a year, I met Leslie. And it was interesting because she had saw my video on Kari and the experiment that I wanted to do, because Kari is an unknown northern god. And so I had to spend a lot of time, about a year, with him, asking him questions about himself, having him tell me his stories, what was important, what his lessons looked like, all these things. And the experiment I wanted to do was to have somebody else use that process, use some of those questions, and to see what they would get. Would they get the same answers from Kari? Would they be getting, the same feel of his energy? All of these things I had questions on, and Leslie was all in. And so, that was our first experiment together. And it was incredible, because all the things that he was telling me, all the stories I had gotten from him, the way that I experienced him and felt him, she was having these same things. I mean, she got a little bit of different information and stuff than I did, but she's also his priestess now, not me. But all the core stuff was all the same. And the way she experienced him is the way I experienced him. So it gave me validation for my work. And I'm not saying you need validation, but in a situation like that, when there's nothing else to go on, I like a little outside validation every now and then. It's one of the reasons why I like using tarot, because it is something outside of my visions, outside of the trance work, outside of hearing them and having that experience. It's something that is physical form, so it gives me an outside check. Now, that was really, really important to me then, because of our work together and the things that Leslie and I have done and what we've experienced and what we have seen through all of our experimenting over the last year. I don't need that outside validation anymore. I really don't care. I know what I'm experiencing, and I know that it is specific and it's for me. So Leslie and I did a rune journey recently, and we used the same process of pulling the runes and using stitchomancy in order to let each of us had a deity that we were specifically working with on this project, and letting them tell us the stories of each rune. And the interesting thing at the end, yes, we did see the core energy of each rune matching in both of ours, but the information that we got, the stories we got, were completely different in the aspect of hers was very much about her path and where she is right now. The skill that she is particularly working on, her projector skills, and it was very much about her path, which is very land, it's very physical, animals, that, physical world, whereas my path is very much more the unseen, the dead, that kind of, energy and scope. Anyway, what we ended up with in the end for each of us, and what that rune journey did, is it gave us an instruction booklet. It was our deities telling us, the steps and the processes and things to incorporate in each one that is very specific for our own path and our own growth. And that was amazing to us, because we could see, where it was talking about, skills that we needed to hone and what they were and how to do it. It was freaking amazing. Leslie and I have been doing all kinds of experiments over the last year together, and we've dug into really deep concepts, really deep into duality and what that means, and perspective and deity, working with deity and bonding with deity, all these things. And we are not similar. We are in the same point in our life path, but our magic is different a little bit. Our paths are different, but we are also represent very much duality in our relationship, in this partnership, and in this bond, this friendship, because even though we're different, both sides complement each other. We see how they blend together, and because we have some different perspectives, we're able to talk through those things and see each other's perspective and add to our own, so we're seeing bigger picture. So yeah, look for one witchy friend. I think maybe you need to be similar in where you are in your life, what kind of stage of life you're in. I don't know, but I think that helps. But your magic doesn't have to be the same. I mean, you need to be complementary or adjacent to each other. I don't think you could be too far apart. But I don't know. Who knows? Maybe somebody that's complete opposite of you would be really well too. But find that one person that you can experiment with, that you can talk to about all this stuff, and they understand. You don't have to do all this explaining over and over again. You don't have to try and catch them up, because they get it, and they know you and where you are. So yeah, and you don't have to be in the same place. Leslie and I aren't even in the same country, and we are able to do ritual together and, experiment together, and it has been the most amazing friendship and most amazing magical partnership that I could have ever asked for. And so yeah, I'm encouraging you, if you are looking, start looking for one. And you may go through several different people before you find that one. That's fine. It's okay. Keep going, because having that one really changes everything.